Hi! It seems that it's not a good day for videos for me, but it's my last try because I really would like to share with you some technical stuff about reciting mantras, about how to do it in your daily life, some technical things about choosing your mala, um, living with it, reciting, things like that. And it's really important for me, so I will try to do my best now. First, the mala bead size. I love this size, quite big size of beads, because I really can feel it into my hand and I don't have to watch my fingers to know what I do. It's a bit bigger than traditional malas. Some are really more littler, and yeah, it's quite heavy, it's quite long, so it's not discreet, really not. Um, but really and also it's the mala that has come into my life really like one day before I decided to do my malas, when I was still intrigued and saying to myself, will I do that, will I not do that, and it has come into my life. I love stone beads, really, and even if it's heavier than wood, I love the fact that I can purify it even if normally it charges in good vibrations. While I do mantras, sometimes maybe I am not so positive, or I can be in a place not so positive, and sometimes it can need some water, or just to be in contact with water. Like this morning I was walking and there was some water dripping from the rain in a place I really like, so I just passed and put my mala in it. And yeah, wood is more difficult, to is more sensible to what happens, and after sometimes they put some varnish on it that can go out. So if you purchase wood, really try santal wood beads, really just simple without varnish, so the beads with the heat of your fingers will smell great, and it will change of color, coming back more darker, but really coming with you along the time. Really, for me it's important that a mala is following you along the time. It's important, it becomes charged like you from all the mantras you do. Mine has one nut, one double nut between each of the beads. I prefer that because after months, weeks, months, years to do mantras, it breaks. The I don't know the word in English anymore. The feel, the thread that is inside the beads will break one day, and if it's really loose, with no knots, all the beads will go away. It was the case. The person that gave it to me had lost like 5, 6 beads of this mala, and I had to find some other jade beads to add. So yeah, I prefer really the one knot per bead, even if it's really long. If it has broken, you have to cut all the knots and you have to redo them, so it's like 2 hours of work. But for months of mantras, and it has broken in some weird places because I love doing my mantras outside, so it's better for me to have only one bead to search for instead of 108. about that, some malas have really 108 beads, some malas including the center bead, this one. Some malas have 108 plus 1, this one. And in the more Tibetan traditions, this bead is said to be for the master. You recite your 108 mantras for yourself, for your divinity, or whatever you want. And when you arrive at this one, you think about your master, ascend it, and send to him or her the energy of the mantra. I have this extra bead. I don't have a master, but I like this idea of dedicating one of my bead, one of my prayer to someone else. I personally use my two hands for reciting mantras if I am occupied to do something else, because I love doing two things at the same time. I keep my right hand to the stuff and my left hand to my beads. My left hand is in general late. You know, like I can recite 2 or 3 mantras and it has blocked, it has stopped to move. The best, it's always best to do 3 mantras for 1 bead than doing 3 beads for 1 mantras. Really, it's kind of difficult sometimes to stay in the same rhythm for your fingers and your voice, but you will find the proper way after some time. But yes, if you have any doubt, like you have jumped 1 bead or forget 1, just recite twice or 3 times the same bead to be sure. After some time you will feel into the energy of the mala if you have recite for all the beads or not. You feel the energy following, you know, the beads. Also, because it's very long, at the beginning I was walking with my mala like this and making it rhythm, but really the thread really had tendencies to break really easily because the movement was erasing, you know, was damaging the thread. So now I put the half of my mala on my pinky finger, and people see it less. And even if I meet people in the street or everywhere, I can put my mala into my pocket, continuing to recite. If I have really to stay mute, not moving my lips, I stop and I wait that I have passed people. If they are for example, in a car and I am less awkward to continue, like to speak into the air, I just continue, but without less sound, I would say. But yeah, I prefer now to have my mala like this, and when I have reached like more like this, I just make it fold, like refold it. So in my first video I spoke about the halfway stop. It's quite great because sometimes you are like doing your mantras and have to let it fall, you know, because there is something important happening, someone enters, want to speak with you, I don't know, but sometimes you have to let it down. And sometimes it's really rude because you are like at some point really near of the end and you don't really know which beat it was, so you have to redo everything. So the half part is great sometimes because you were at the end and you remember you have passed the half stop, so you just come back to the half stop and redo the half mala. It's quite of cheating, but It's my way of doing it. And also at first when I had this mala, the wall colors, from dark to clear were all around, melted. And after some times by redoing it, I have really um, make it in order, so it's from dark to light, and I always begin from dark to go to light, because for me it's important also, like feeling the flow, the energy flow into my mala. I felt bad sometimes to do it in one movement and letting it down, coming back and beginning backwards, feeling it, not being sure, feeling like there's something wrong about it. So now I really have always the same movement on it. You can whisper your mantras, and I whisper a lot, but you have to articulate it a lot. A lot about mantras is more about what it does there in your mouth and on your face. Energetically, it awakes a lot of energetical points and different things for different movements and different sounds. So if you have to whisper because there's someone else behind you, near you, my husband will not hear me sing for like 2 hours after. He will be really bored. Or sometimes I recite my mantras into the bus when I walk outside. Each when I have time, and free hands, I do my mantras, and so I cannot sing. But I really like, you can do it by whispering it, you can do it with normal voice, like just chanting, and you can sing your mantras. And really, if you make the same mantras for like 12 days, if one day you can sing them, it's really great. I really love it. After sometimes the melody comes, you recite your mantra and the melody comes, even if you are whispering it. And it's really fun to to sing it, especially outside in nature. Animals changing their behavior, like birds singing with you, things like that. It can be really magic. So it's important to articulate, and if you can sing your mantras, it's really just great. Another thing, you can do your mantras, and it's best to do it in full conscience, like meditation, nothing to disturb you, no music, no TV, no books, nothing, you do your mantras. I know it's the best, but really, my mind, my ego, everything you want, after some time gets bored and tries to make me think about something else. So I really prefer giving something to my mind to do, like being in nature, wandering, watching trees, watching plants, hearing birds, watching animals, everything like that. My mind is so happy about it, and the other part of my mind that is doing my mantras can do it without being disturbed, and I can still feel the effects of the mantras inside me. Or I like to be like sitting in my bed really quietly, reading a good book, something not so disturbing, but that can put my monkey mind, into something else, instead of saying to me how you don't have paid the bill, or you have to do the laundry, or things like that. This part of the mind is a good story. The other part of my mind can really be into my mantra, be into what it does to me. Really, I have always needed to do two things at the same time. When I was in school listening to the teacher, I needed to draw when I was doing my homework, I needed to listen to the TV, and it stays inside me. I need to do two things at the same time, so my whole person feels good. Um, Three is too much. Last time I tried to hear some TV show. I was doing my mantras and I was doing something else, and it was too much. Really not. Just two things is good for me. But try not to. It's still sometimes, you can do it without thinking about it, but try to keep your mind as much as possible on it. If not your full mind, a part of your mind, not doing your mantras and saying, oh yeah, I have finished. And if you have, sometimes we have forgotten how much malas we have done. It's where I am, I don't know. You take the more little number you can remember, like I have done 3 or 4 or 5. I am sure 3, you come from 3 and you continue. Really, it's always best to do more than not enough. So it's part of finding time, and it's why I love to share my time with mantras, with other things. Finding like 1 hour, 2 hours per day for doing mantras can be difficult. Masters say the best is doing your 9 mantras. If it's 9 mantras, the master say you have to do your 9 mantras in one row. It's really more powerful. Sometimes it's too powerful. It's really difficult. And for example, when your throat is sore, it's quite difficult to say out loud 9 mantras of the same 9 malas of the same mantras. After some time, your throat is really sore, so I like to do like the 3-3-3 or 3-6. Hi back. So I was saying I really prefer to do it in 3 parts as possible. If I have decided to do my 9 malas per day for 12 days, so it does 108 malas of 108 mantras. So it's like the cosmic number. I know that pagans use other numbers of beads, and really I think you should try what is right for you. I have begun like this and it feels good to me, so I will continue this technique, but there's nothing, to my point of view, obligatory. Really, if you ask like Hindu Buddhist masters, some are really strict rules, including that you cannot use a mantra if the master has not given it to you. I am not about it because I don't have a master. So I do as I can, but I prefer to wait for inspiration, for it being given to me by divinity, spirits, what you want. Really, at least a clue for where I should go about mantras. So yeah, sorry, it's quite difficult to re-enter into that. Yeah, between tradition and feeling, I have tried the two, and now for Duga I come back into the more traditional 9 mantras for 12 days. I am at the last day of my first Duga mantra. And I have to say, really, for the last 2 years, it was not possible to me physically to stand doing as much mantras every day. Really, it was too much. I had some, really bad hurting in the teeth, into the jaw, so it was difficult to really recite the mantras as much time. And also real exhaustion, needing to sleep a lot, so putting so much effort and attention into mantras was impossible too. So really, the time I did with Lakshmi, more with feeling the mantras, was great. And now that I come back to be healthy enough to do the traditional stuff, I really think it's better for me, at least for working with Durga. We will see after that. For the moment, coming back to tradition is really best for me, because sometimes when I recite the mantras, I feel overwhelmed. The energy is too strong, and I could have, if I was into the feeling mood, to stop saying, oh, it's too much, so I stop. And with the traditional idea, I have, sometimes I can stop, like I have done 6 malas, saying, okay, I make a pause, I do my life, I will finish it at the end of the day. It's quite good, and I really try not to have my 9 malas to do, at the last moment before sleeping, because it's too long, it's too exhausting, and at the end it's really like a torture. So yeah, I really try to do as much as possible malas in the morning, before going out, while I'm going out, or in the afternoon. Sometimes, you have some time when you just, I don't know, relax, and you can do your mantras. Yeah, I try not to have to do them at the end of the day, because it's too hard. And about journaling, I know that most pagans journal about everything. So for most of you, I don't have to say that journaling is important. But yeah, I really do miss, I should have really note when I had done my first mantras. I had the good idea to note on cards which mantras, what it was about, but I did not have at that moment the idea to note the moment I did it, and also to note what I felt about it. What came to me, what wisdom came to me, what happened in my life. At that time, really, I did it for Lakshmi, and for me, at least, it's really important to do that, because mantras are just words, that you recite in the air, and at the moment you think, I never forget that, because it's like inside you. But at least for my mind, after a few months, I cannot remember some mantras. Some continue to come back regularly into my mind, some not. And at least I have the images that I chosen that really help me. Watching the image, reciting the mantra, and the energy has come back immediately, something. But I cannot really clearly remember what it was at that time. So journaling is really for me important. And with Durga, I am really precise to note the traditions there is about the mantra I am doing, the goddess that is into this mantra, and also to choose a traditional image, another image that is for my perception of it, and also writing what I am living while I am doing this mantra. It's really important for me. So it's the end of this technical video. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to put them into the comments. I will answer. Yeah, it's just my experience. There's nothing obligatory about it. I may have said a lot of mistakes, seeing by other people that do mantras in a more, organized, religious way, I would say. But I wanted to share it with you because for me it's important. Sometimes just you feel the need to do like mantras, and there is nothing where you live that can lead you to a proper way to do it. So I share with you what I know. See you soon for the Durga mantras, for showing a bit what I am doing with this session, and waiting for that. I love you. Have a nice springtime. See you soon.